Oh, good evening, friends. This is Dr. Deepak Chanda from SSV Board. Herewith, we welcome you to this live webinar on how to read books like reels. So, for your own convenience, I would like to request and invite our dynamic chairman, Shri Mangesh Kinarji, and he will be, since he is too busy, so I'll request him to give us words of wisdom to us, and then we can start. Over to Shri Mangesh Kinarji. Sir.
Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you, Deepak ji. Good afternoon to all, dear students. I welcome you all to this second workshop on reading skills, and by the name how to read the books like reels. And I'm very happy that Amrut Deshmukh, who has been giving his lot of time for the institute and CS students, he's here today again to take the workshop of the students on the development of reading skill. I'm in Mangalore today attending a national conference and coming on from that. And when I announced this, the students have got really, enthusiastic about it. And definitely this will help the students a lot. Already started program in this reading organized by Student Skill Enrichment Board, talent hunt programs, or the practical training modules which we are having separately, like on alternate Friday like this. We are trying to develop a different skill sets among the students. And I appeal to you all to not only you attend, but also encourage your friends and colleagues to attend these programs, and so that we can do it more for the students' overall skill development. So we are also launching now the 4 weeks residential course in Hyderabad. And those interested students can approach the Student Skill Enrichment Board for registration. Number of programs are lined up, number of activities are lined up. And as the more enthusiasm you show, more will be the activities organized by the Student Skill Enrichment Board. So I welcome you once again, and I thank Amrut Deshmukh on my personal behalf for taking the lead and organizing and speaking in such workshops and encouraging the chartered accountant students to develop these skill sets. So thank you very much for attending. Thank you, Amrut, and over to you, Deepak ji, again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such a nice words. And we hope within your leadership, we will be able to do more such kind of things. Thank you. Have a nice flight, sir. Okay, now the participants. Now I would like to welcome you, the speaker of the day, CA Amrut Deshmukh. As the name suggests, he is a chartered accountant. He is our own part of the family. He is being a very versatile in all kinds of activities, and especially reading, which I suppose, as per my opinion, has lost its zeal due to all kind of other social medias. But see, Amrut, he's like everybody has a very good nickname. Somebody is called by Raju, some Bobby, somehow somewhere there. But he is known as by his booklet guy. So you can understand what the concept is, that booklet. Booklet means he is very fond of reading books, generating kind of knowledge which is required for today's chartered accountants. As you know, chartered accountants is going through a different phase of changes. So people must be habitual of getting to the reading habits. And this gentleman, this gentleman who himself called as an outdated chartered accountant, but he is on a mission, which is a very good mission for this coming 21st century chartered accountants, who is going to change this entire generation of chartered accountants and bring this youth to a platform where they can develop the habit of reading, so that not only their knowledge, but as a professional as well as their mental setup also gets tuned up to the today's liking. The average, as per his research, Amrut is of that, found that generally on this, people read around 150 words per minute, but due to his constant habit and content practice, he is able to reach 1200 words per minute. And he has made it his habit that he reads almost one book a day and is continuously developing. So he is targeting that he will be reading 2 books a day, 3 books a day, because he is fond of it and he finds it's quite interesting to encourage to see his knowledge flow of this. So today he will be sharing all his experiences and what is actually how to read, what to read, how this reading helps you to generate your self-confidence, your stage fears, and all things that can be taken. So today he has 50 lakh young readers who are enthusiastically reading books with him on his free mobile app called Booklet. Even in the book India 2020, our honorable late President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam talks about his dream to see India as a developed nation. And this booklet guy, C. Amrit Deshmukh, strongly believes the purpose of that, our late president, and he is trying to work on his mission so that the dream of that country, the India, to 21st century India, becomes true. Now I welcome him on this platform to share his views, to share his experiences, and obviously to share and motivate and give you a certain kind of inputs, tips, which will help him to generate a kind of a habit which you require in your CA profession as well as in your personal life also to achieve. Welcome, CA Amrit Deshmukh ji. Now over to you for your real life examples and guidance to us. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Invitation from CA Institute is always so exciting. Because that has set the foundation for me. And even if I call myself as an outdated chartered accountant, the degree CA has such a great weightage that the person assumes that I know everything about money and finance. And so it becomes a very, nobody tries to mess up with chartered accountants when it comes to money matters, right? Kapil ji, can I have at least one person on the screen so that if you could switch on the camera, because then I find it difficult to talk to a blank screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A simple smile. Now, see, Mangesh sir is smiling. That is also great feedback for me, and that keeps up my energy and enthusiasm to talk. Right. So at least one person, that's fine. Yeah. So the title of today's session is not just to arrest your attention. It really means, and why I use the word reel, not just because it is so common nowadays, and it has become the second nature of ours, right? Watching reels. So how to read books like reels? I would like to start with a question. Of course, I don't expect an answer from you because I think there is no such facility here. But the answer is quite obvious that how many of you doze off while reading books? I think everybody will raise their hands, including me. I'm not an exception to this, right? I'll tell you why this happens. But before that, how many of you doze off while scrolling Instagram news feeds and watching reels? I think nobody dozes off. Very interesting, right? Yeah. See, I'm not here to insult the books or encourage reels. No, I'm just trying to find a scientific reason behind why we doze off while reading books, why everybody complains. I get started with a book, but then after 15, 20 pages, I push. I doze off, I lose interest. Yeah, I get distracted. Maza hi nahi aata hai. But that doesn't happen in case of reels. That doesn't happen in case of Facebook news feeds, in case of YouTube videos. Why? And I'm going to give you the biggest shock of your life. I had got a huge 1,000-volt shock when I started studying and researching on reading. Right? I discovered that reading is not natural to our human brains. Amazed to you know this? Reading is not natural to our human brain. Shocked? I was equally shocked to know this. Yeah, it is artificial. See, our human brain is wired to see things, to visualize, to imagine, to conceptualize. So unfortunately, our eyes have evolved the most in last 1,000 years in comparison to other senses like ears and nose, the smell and listening. These capabilities have not evolved so much as our seeing capability has evolved. Whereas other animals in the animal kingdom, they have evolved their smelling senses and hearing senses more than human beings. Probably that could be one of the major reasons why we are ruling this animal kingdom, because our eyes have evolved more. So when we look at something. See, I'm using the word look. That means I'm assuming that we see. So if I'm looking at this mic, we first see, then we hear, and then we smell. This is the order. This may not be true 1,000 years ago, but because of the evolution process, this order has been fixed now. कुछ भी होता है, whenever we encounter something new, we first see, then listen, and then smell. Whereas animals, they first smell, then they listen or hear, and then they see. It's exactly opposite. So probably my pet dog might smell this mic, and we have lost the capability of smelling this mic. We think that there is no smell coming out of the mic, but probably there could be that we have lost the capacity to smell this table or this mic, because our eyes have evolved so much that we give 100% reliance to our eyes, that what we see, we believe. Seeing is believing is, I think, one of a very old adage, right? And so hota kya hai, that our brain has now evolved and wired to see, to visualize. Now seeing, I do not mean only physical seeing. Like the real tiger, our subconscious mind, our brain doesn't understand the difference between the real tiger standing right in front of me in the zoo, or the tiger on the television screen, or the tiger that I imagine on my mental canvas. They all are same to our subconscious mind. So what a foolish subconscious mind we have. He doesn't understand the difference between all the three tigers. That means seeing includes seeing physical things, seeing imaginative things, seeing virtual things. Like I'm looking at Kapilji right now, but he's not physically present in my room, right? He's virtually in front of me, but वो भी same है हमारे दिमाग के लिए. It's as good as he's with me right now. Got it? Now, so having said that, we have evolved seeing, and the brain is all about seeing and visualizing and watching and observing. So let us go 1,000 years back, or I don't know when, for the first time, written technology was invented by human beings, or communicating through writing. जब उसका आविष्कार हुआ रहेगा, तो probably first to communicate that a tiger to Dr. Saab, then I would probably draw a picture of a tiger on the ground or on a paper, if paper was discovered first, invented first. And then we realize the constraints of the space and time consumed to paint a picture, to convey a message to the other person. And then we realize the importance of symbols, letters, alphabets, and words, which in turn will represent that image called tiger. And we invented these symbols called T, which is horizontal line with a vertical line is T, one vertical line is I, and that funny looking round with something is G, and so collection of these symbols, okay, become a word, and that word in turn represents an image called tiger, and then we see that yellow-black species on our mental canvas. Now the biggest problem lies here, that because our brain was made to see pictures on our mental canvas, but now what has happened, we are not directly seeing the picture, we are looking at the word, those collection of symbols, which in turn represents the image of tiger. So there is an extra processing going on in our mind. And we started giving so much of importance to that word, to those stupid symbols, black symbols on white paper, that we forget that the major part, the important thing is to see that tiger in our imaginative world, and not the word, not those black symbols on white paper. So words are not the most important part of reading. Very, very ironical, right? Very paradoxical, very counterintuitive to understand this. Words are not the message. They are just the messenger. The real message lies in the meaning of those words or group of words. Like tiger is running. You don't have to read the individual words. Tiger is running. Just see it like a movie, like a reel. And that's what I do. I don't read those words because words are not important to me. I see while reading like a movie. And that's why the chances of dozing off goes down. Because once our seeing capability opens up, like when you're watching Bahubali, I don't think a single person in India dozed off while watching Bahubali, either on Netflix or in theaters. Impossible, right? Because it's so loud, larger than life, huge technology, VFX, इतना कुछ use किया उसमें, right? And our brain loves it. Our brain loves it, right? But the problem was in reading, all this visualization, imagination is gone. We focus on those words. We focus on the language of the author. We don't look at the meaning and then convert it into vivid picture in our minds. Okay, so the biggest secret of speed reading is not to read, but to see, visualize like a movie. I know it's not so easy. I took almost 8 to 9 months to undo the old habit of focusing on words and letters. It was very frustrating. The journey was very frustrating. I was falling back to the old behavior because we were taught since childhood by our school teachers that you have to read slowly, you have to read one word at a time. No, that is wrong teaching. I'm sorry. That's what I learned from Tony Buzan, the father of speed reading, that you don't have to read the individual words. I'll prove it. See, our peripheral view is almost 1.5 meters. What do I mean by peripheral view? Now that I'm looking at the screen of my mobile, all right, I'm indirectly looking at the light stand on my left and the window on the right, whereas my eyeballs are still on the mobile screen, on my Zoom screen. Yeah, I can see the picture of Kapil ji with a coat over it. I can see Dr. Saab nodding his head, but I can indirectly also see the light stand and the window on my left and my right respectively. That means our peripheral view is almost 1.5 meters. And tell me, what is the width of a book? Less than a foot? Less than a foot? So, focusing only on one word, don't you think is underutilizing the capacity of our eyes? We can cover so much of 1.5 meters of a range, and we are looking at only tiny, less than 1 inch word at a time. I hope you're getting my point. So you can expand. I'll prove this. Now, the first word that we learned as a child, if you were put in English medium school, assuming I come from an English medium school, so the first word taught to me was probably apple. But then when I was a child, 3-4-year-old child, how did I read that word apple? APPLE, apple. But today as an adult, I don't read the individual letters. I straight away read the word apple because my eyes have got habituated to see that unique combination of APPLE. वो दिमाग में इतना fit हो गया है कि something APPLE, even if the spelling is wrong, if the spelling is APLE, still I know that the word is apple, and I'll come to know it's a typing mistake. So the connection is so strong in my mind, right? So I ignore the individual letters APPLE and straight away look at the collection of those individual letters as a whole unit called apple. And I say the word apple and some red color object pops in my mind. Now, but the education stopped here. Our teachers did not teach us that if we can read the entire word without reading the individual letters, then we can also read group of words without reading individual words. I repeat, if you can read the entire word apple without reading the individual letters APPLE, then don't you think you can also read group of words of 3-4 words without reading individual words? Because our peripheral view is huge, bigger than the full size of a book, the width of the book. This is the scientific reason of speed reading, the basis of speed reading. All right. But you know what? Interestingly, this technical part is not the major thing about finishing books fast. I don't owe my skill of this technical skill to read one book a day. Or I've read almost 1,985 books till now. But this technical speed reading technique is not the main thing. It is like less than 50%. All right. I'll tell you why. I'll come to it later on. So now you understood why we doze off while reading books and why we don't doze off while watching movies, serials, reels, and YouTube videos. All right. Because our brain is not made for these stupid symbols, black and blue symbols on the white paper. But unfortunately, we are giving too much of importance to these symbols. Okay. See, no, the most profound lesson I learned from all the entrepreneur books like Elon Musk and all, that your work, when it becomes a medium of expression, that is the biggest source of satisfaction and happiness and fulfillment. Initially, I did not understand the importance of this line. It was said by Mahatma Gandhi, it is said by Elon Musk, it is said by Bill Gates, it is said by APJ Abdul Kalam, that make your work as a medium of expression to the world. And you're the most satisfied person on this earth. Now, what do I mean by this? When I actually investigated into this line for months, what do they really mean by this? Right? See, booklet is a medium of expression for me, and that's why I go to bed as the most satisfied person. Now I'm going to share all my personal things, how I learned, how I failed, what worked for me, what did not work for me. Don't you think that is a way of, it's an art, it's a medium of expression for me. It is a platform to talk to the world, and 2,000 people are listening to me for next 1 hour. इससे ज़्यादा satisfaction क्या मिल सकता है? Right? The whole world wants to talk, and nobody is there to listen. Forget about the world. खुद की बीवी सुनती नहीं या बीवी का पति सुनता नहीं है. And here I am being heard by 2,000 people, right? Without interruption, 2,500, right? That means that is the major source of satisfaction. Now, why am I all of a sudden talking about this when the topic is about speed reading? Is all thanks to my elder brother. So my elder brother is 12 years elder to me. I was born very late in my family. Probably I was an unplanned child, or I don't know. But my mother is no more, so I can't even ask her because she's no more in this world. So, see, I want to share one story that happened in my childhood days, and that had a profound impact on me. And I started looking my work as a medium of expression. Okay. So it was a unit test of 50 marks. I was in 5th or 6th grade probably. And I had scored 48 marks out of 15 science paper. I was very happy. And I was the second highest in the class. Now our school had this practice of जो भी top 3 आते हैं ना जो भी पेपर में, first, the highest, second highest, third highest, उनके xerox copies निकालते थे, and that was all those 3 copies were distributed to all the other students to give them an idea of the model answers, see how the answers should be written, good answers, so that they will get a fair idea how good answers should be written. Okay, so even I got those 3 papers, my own paper and the 2 other highest guys, and I was the second highest. And when I got the paper and I was just looking at it, I realized that actually I had got 50 out of 50, and there was a totaling mistake from my teacher's side. Okay, so I immediately pointed this out to my elder brother and said that, Dada, there seems to be a totaling mistake. Actually, I got 50 out of 50, but teacher, by mistake, teacher must have written 48. I'm sure it is not intentional. And you know what my brother said? That, okay, fine, mistakes happen. Your teacher is also human. To err is human. Now you have a choice. You know that you are the best. You have scored 50 out of 50. You are the highest. It is a choice. It is up to you whether to keep silent because you know you are the best, or you want to tell the world, go back and tell your teacher that, look, you are wrong. I've actually scored 50 out of 50. It's your choice. He did not tell me what to do. He left it to me what choice to be taken. I took the second choice. No, I did not. I took the first choice. I did not go and tell the teacher that there's a mistake in the totaling. But something happened after that. So because my paper was xeroxed and given to all of the students, one of my friend's mom pointed out, she came to know that actually Amrut is the highest in the classroom. And she told her son, go and tell Amrut or go and tell the teacher that Amrut is actually the highest and he's not the second highest. There's a totaling mistake in his answer paper. So my that mom's son, so my friend went and told the teacher कि actually ऐसा हुआ है, अमरुद के पेपर में मैंने ऐसा देखा. And my teacher called me and asked me that, Amrut, did you know this? And I said, yes, ma'am, I knew this. Then why you did not approach me and tell me? And he said that, no, I thought that I came to know that I scored 50 of 50. I did not find it important to tell the whole world that I am the best because I was happy that I scored 50 out of 50. And my teacher got tears of joy in her eyes. She hugged me and kissed me on my forehead that यहाँ पे बाकी के बच्चे आधे आधे मार्क के लिए झगड़ा करते हैं मेरे साथ, या मैम आपने ये आंसर पर बराबर है उस पे कट किया उसको तो आपने उतना दिया 1 मार्क, मुझे आधा मार्क दिया. In such a world of competition, you did not bother about marks. And she took me to the principal. I still remember this incident vividly. She took me to the principal, explained the entire scenario. कैसा ऐसा हुआ. Principal was also so happy to know this. पूरा जुलूस निकाला हमारा पूरा स्कूल में. All the seniors में 6th में था तो 7th grade, 8th grade सब क्लासरूम में जाके ये किस्सा सुनाया. And I think that had an impact on me. That marks, okay, I understand there is a system. We can't do away with it. That there is a reward and punishment system in our education system, including CSE too. And I'm not against that. Right? That there has to be the 35 marks के नीचे fail है. अपना तो CA तो 40 marks है, plus the aggregate and all those things. Yeah, we all know the pain of that system. But my elder brother always told me that marks are just a byproduct. Look at examination as a medium of expression. It is an opportunity for you to reproduce what you learned in your own language. There is nothing more satisfying than this, because I started my talk today that I have been heard by 2,500 people today. That is the biggest source of satisfaction. Don't you think examination is also that? It is an opportunity for you to express what you learned. Forget about the author's language. That was just a medium, that book, that written language, that book was just a stupid excuse to teach you something. Now it is up to you how you explain it. Because the same thing can be explained in different words, right? But the problem is we focus on the words and the language of the book and the writers. And because we focus on the marks, yeah, what happens is those marks motivate you not to enjoy the process of learning, but to get the marks. That's the problem. So reward and punishment both are actually detrimental to enjoy the process of learning, unfortunately. Whenever there is an external reward, the intrinsic motivation to learn goes away. For example, I'll give a very crude and blunt example. All right. See, you have a dadi at your house, your grandmom, and you are playing the whole day. You are playing, and your legs are little paining. The muscles are sore, legs are very tired, and you make a request to your dadi. The dadi, thoda pair daba ke doge, please. Yeah. But you add one line, which makes a blunder. And you add that one line that, Dadi, could you please press my legs? I played a lot today. I ran a lot. Now, if you press my legs now, I'll give you 10 rupees. वो इतना कान के नीचे बजाएगी ना आपके, He'll say that I will do it out of love and affection. I don't want those 10 rupees. That's what happens when marks were introduced. Varna, as children, we are amazing self-learners. Have you observed that 1 month, 3 month old child crawling on the floor, the tiniest thing also on the floor, could be a small black color particle, he gets curious to know what it is. He puts it in his mouth. This all learning process. We are amazing self-learners. And so it is an intrinsic motivation to learn something. We absorb everything when we are children. But the moment marks as an external reward, external motivation was introduced, by default, the internal motivation went away, unfortunately. Are you getting my point? Now, we can't do anything with the system. Okay, marks will always be there, but we can change our mindset. Instead of focusing on the marks, if we start enjoying to learn that and internalize that piece of knowledge and express it in my own language, in my own vocabulary, and see examination as a medium of expression, marks will come to you as a byproduct. I am a standing example of this. I never focused on marks. And I was rewarded with abundant marks throughout my school, college, and CA exams. Yes, you can trust me. All right. See, you know the famous movie Three Idiots, the Rancho's dialogue, कि किसी भी क्लासरूम में बैठो यार, सब जगह से ज्ञान बह रहा है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है मैं मेरे कक्षा में बैठूं या किसी और के कक्षा में. I love that line. But we have lost that capacity. No, we are too much of into marks, no, and calculation and all these things. Yeah. Perfection is not expected. Perfection is not expected even in CA exams. What is expected is, are you internalizing that piece of knowledge? Now, what do I mean by internalizing? I'll come to this point in few minutes, but I would like to recommend a book called Punished by Rewards, because I've been talking about reward and punishment system. There is a beautiful book called Punished by Rewards by Alfie Kohn. Okay, I've summarized it in booklet app. Whatever books I mentioned, you can assume that I've summarized them and they are part of booklet app. So from there, I understood the problem with marks and reward and punishment. So nowadays, punishment has gone out of the education system. I understand. You know, teachers don't hate the students. They don't scold. They have understood the power of love and affection and the coordination. But rewards are there, right? A student who scores 100 out of 100 is treated differently than the student who scores 40 out of 100, right? So it's a reward for him and punishment for him. Having said that, I shared my story about that totaling mistake, and I learned that. So you see, I'm carrying the same mentality even today. If you watch my YouTube videos, you know, I have thousands of videos on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't bother about views. I never say that please like, share, and comment. I think the same mentality is there, that I did not bother about marks when I was a student. I don't bother about views because I'm enjoying the process of creating the videos. And views, subscribers will come as a byproduct. Right? Narendra Modi had said once that for me, votes are a byproduct. My work is my dharma. My service for my motherland. And then votes will come as a byproduct. So whether it is app downloads, I have not checked app downloads of booklet app for last 1.5 years. I don't know the exact figure. I don't care. Because such invitations from renowned education institute like CA in itself is an acknowledgement that I'm on the right track. Right? Or else I would have been ignored by the world. The fact that I'm getting invitations for TED Talks, Youth Icon Award, renowned institutes like CA, that means I don't have to check those app downloads. They must be happening. This 50 lakh figure that you said in my introduction is an approximate figure. It could be more than that. I don't know. Some big figure. Right? But the numbers are quite misleading. Numbers hypnotize us. We die for those 200 likes when we put our best picture on Facebook and Instagram. Right? But instead of that, we start focusing on the process itself. Trust me, you will enjoy a lot. I used to enjoy preparing for the exams a lot. Now it finds very funny, right? How can you enjoy studying? One of my friends reacted to my sentence when I said that I used to enjoy preparing for exams because my approach was different. It was a medium of expression for me. It was an opportunity for me to show that, see, I can I can explain the same concept in a different way. Even in mathematics. Mathematics बोलोगे कि आंसर तो सेम रहता है, but the steps can be different. Yes. So now let's get into the main thing about the practical part. I'll try to share my screen. So there is a national talent hunt going to take place. CA Institute people are in touch with me, and I'm also a part of it. And there will be a contest across India, pan India, for all the CA students. And I'm preparing the material for it. So I'm taking some material out of it and give you some idea that how are you going to do it. So I have extracted some great ideas from awesome books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, Think Like a Monk, Napoleon Hill, Sudha Murthy, Robin Sharma, Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel, and those big ideas which are complete stories in itself. So it's not that if you have not read the book, you will not understand. Aisa nahi hai. So I've made sure that these are all complete concepts, complete stories of not more than 150 words. So that one idea is of hardly 150 words. Why 150 words? Because the average reading speed, as he rightly said, of most of the people is 150 words per minute. Matlab one idea is 1 minute for normal people, those who are not speed readers. So I'll just try to share the screen and then I will show you. I'll just read out the. Are you able to see my screen? No, I have not shared it, right? Just a minute. Huh? I might struggle because I'm sharing my screen for the first time. Okay, start broadcast. All right. Now, yeah, just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Rich versus wealthy. Can you read rich versus wealthy? Yeah. All right. I'll just zoom out. Now, this is one idea, okay, which I took from Psychology of Money. I'm going to read out very slowly. Okay, fast nahi padunga main. Okay, we should be careful to define the difference between wealthy and rich. Not knowing the difference is a source of countless poor money decisions. Rich is a current income. Someone driving a $1 lakh car is almost certainly rich because even if they purchase the car with debt, you need a certain level of income to afford the monthly payment. Same with those who live in big homes. It's not hard to spot rich people. They often go out of their way to make themselves known. Okay, but wealth is hidden. It's income not spent. Wealth is an option not yet taken to buy something later. Its value lies in offering you options, flexibility, and growth to one day purchase more stuff than you could right now. From the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Now it's quite deep, a very deep concept. Okay, I'll just stop the screen and then come back. All right. Very deep concept. I've read it only once. Now, typical mistakes readers do is they'll try to memorize the name of the author. They'll try to memorize the name of the book. $1 lakh car. That 1 lakh is not important. Now, for me, this idea as a whole, I will see the main key idea that I learned from this paragraph is that wealth and richness are two different things. What we see, the Ferraris and the Rolex watches and people having two iPhones and big bungalows with swimming pools, that shows their richness and not their wealth. See, now I'm giving the same meaning, but completely different words. I'm not using the author's language. I'm using my own language because I understood the concept. This is what is expected from a reader. Okay, to express the same concept in your own broken desi vocabulary. And this is the most underrated feature of reading. Nobody talks about it. And you know the biggest culprit? The guidebooks given to us during school days. Model answers. And so I hate those dispassionate teachers who give ready-made answers to their students. I don't like such teachers. Teacher ka job hai to give a fertile environment to the students and then encourage them to create their own answers. If they're wrong, then the teacher's job is to rectify those wrong answers. Not just to, मेरे एक teacher थी, so I never joined classes for CA. I was a self-learner. But एक subject था, Operation Research. I don't know whether it is still part of the syllabus. OR बोलते थे हम उसको. तो उसके लिए मैंने क्लास लगाया था. 50 marks का था या 100 marks का था, I don't remember. And that teacher, so whenever I asked a doubt about CPRMs and PERT and all, so the only answer that teacher used to give, वो मॉड्यूल में लिखा है, इसलिए ऐसा है. And as an innocent student, I used to believe, अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, मॉड्यूल में लिखा है तो I have to just by heart it. It's a bad example of a teacher. Huh? No, you should tell why. The why wala questions are the most important questions. Teacher, why this formula? Can you tell me how this formula was derived? You never have to by heart or memorize a formula. Formula is derived from some logical concept. I never memorized any of the formulae. Then a contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost. But why? And when I understood the real meaning that to run a business, the biggest risk is to cover the fixed cost. Variable cost will anyway get covered. Because order आएगा, तो मैं manufacture करूंगा, तो तभी variable cost खर्चा होगा. So what is the problem is fixed cost, the rent and salary of the employees. I have to pay them regardless of how many units are sold. So what I have to focus on is on contribution and not just profit. If I'm able to cover the fixed cost and reach a break even, that is also good news. Now see how suddenly my whole life has changed because I had 3 failed startups in my life, but I never went bankrupt. Because I know that it is the fixed cost that I have to take care. I have to keep fixed cost minimum. I don't have to bother about variable cost or the total cost. Now see, अगर वो बाहर करता मैं, memorize करता that contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit or contribution or is equal to sales minus variable cost, I would have gone bankrupt probably in my life, right? So always try to go and find the soul meaning of whatever you read. Okay, now coming back to the example that I showed to you, that what you are expected in that national talent hunt is that once you understand that concept, forget about the language and you express in your own words. In fact, I would suggest you go beyond what author is saying. Connect that idea with your own past experiences, own past knowledge. This is a very good way of internalizing concepts and knowledge. Connect it. The way I shared my personal examples, personal anecdotes of my childhood days about that totaling mistake done by the teacher. I connected the new piece of knowledge with my old piece of knowledge. That is growth. That is learning. Not just restricting to the examples given by the author. You can create your own examples. And through examples, you always remember the concepts. You don't remember the abstract concepts per se. You always remember the illustrations, the stories, and the examples. Now, the idea that I read out, the only thing that I saw through that idea was cars, swimming pools, bungalows, yachts, and private charter planes. जिसके पास होते हैं, that shows me only their richness, not their wealth. Wealth is invisible. Wealth is income not spent. What a phenomenal concept. Wealth is income not spent. Now, what are the conclusions that I'm deriving, even if the author has not said? That a person who is stepping out of his red color Ferrari, okay, I think he's a very rich guy. But don't you think, वो 1 crore की Ferrari लेने के लिए उसने loan लिया है, so his wealth has dropped by 1 crore. He is rich because he is able to repay that loan, or probably not. But don't you think he has now become less wealthy by 1 crore rupees or the cost of Ferrari? And that's the difference between wealth and richness. Wealth is hidden, invisible in those secret portfolios, stock portfolios, their investments in real estates, mutual funds, etc., etc. Are you getting my point? If you could explain this in the contest, then you will be the winner, and not just imitating the author and copying his language. And all the more important, you will be rewarded with more marks if you come out with your own personal example. Immediately connect with something else. Even if it is a wrong example, chalega. But examiners love such things. And that's why my brother had made a rule at home when I was a child. No guide will be bought ever in your life. No guidebooks. The ready-made answers, model answers. And he said that you are also not supposed to copy the language of the textbook. Once you read that story, once you read that chapter, close the book. It was compulsory to close the book and create my own answers with my own immature vocabulary. I was a child, so my vocabulary may not be great in those days. And why close the book? Because if I keep the book open, I'll be tempted to copy the author's language. And that is the biggest mistake. Yeah. You have the basic vocabulary you have. The basic 100 words are more than enough to express. You know, there are some millions of words in English language or any language, out of which how many words we use to have normal conversations on day-to-day basis? They constitute only 10%. That means you need to know only 10% of the total vocabulary, 10% of the total words present in the dictionary in order to communicate. Now, I've been talking to you for the last 30 minutes. Have I ever used any flashy word? Bade like Shashi Tharoor? No. Shashi Tharoor, I call him as Mr. Dictionary only. He writes book to boast his vocabulary, not to teach the reader. Yeah, I have to keep a dictionary beside me when I read his book. But my objective is, whenever I write a book or express something, the other person should understand. If the other person doesn't understand by using heavy words, then what's the use of communication here? Right? Yeah. So, as I said, that converting the piece of knowledge into your personal piece of knowledge. Yeah, I think this is the right phrase. Converting the author's piece of knowledge into your own personal piece of knowledge is learning, is growth. It is education. But we are not talking about that. We are focusing on page numbers, the font size, the author's name. Yeah, all ready-made answers. और अभी तो सबसे बड़ा चीज आया है ChatGPT. I'm really scared about that. These small children have started using ChatGPT for their assignments and homework. अब तो गई भैंस पानी में. Now I really fear how they are going to learn and grow. Yeah. Of course, there are good things about ChatGPT, no doubt, but this is the dangerous part of it. So we should use it very, very diligently and carefully. So parents should keep a watch on how ChatGPT is being used by their kids. Yeah. The one common mistake I see whenever people are reading, they turn the remaining pages. Kitne pages baki hai? When I used to study library, half of my friends used to see how many pages are remaining, and that creates an anxiety in you. Arey baapre, another 150 pages are remaining. I have read only 50 pages. No, this is an unnecessary process. You don't have to do this. Yeah, this happens with reels. If you're watching reels and suppose you watch reels for the whole day or for 4 hours, you go to bed as an unsatisfied person. Have you observed your own feelings when you randomly keep watching videos on YouTube or randomly keep watching reels and those videos on Instagram? रात को ना एक अजीब सी feeling आती है of incompleteness, dissatisfaction. You know why? Whenever you are watching a video, there is always a better video next. You're always chasing a mirage. You know what's a mirage? Mrugajal. मृगजल बोलते हैं उसके हिंदी में. Because of the sheer amount of videos we have on internet, there is always a better video next. And hence, when you're watching a video or a reel, within few seconds, we think, no, next wala dekhenge kya? That small chatterbox starts in our back of the mind. I think next one would be more entertaining than this one. And when you jump to the next one, again we start thinking, no, the next one could be a better one. And sometimes we watch the entire video. Most of the time we don't watch the entire video. Am I right? I'm not an exception to this, okay? I'm saying from my heart. And when what I do is when I understand my weaknesses, I start working on it. I have accepted my weaknesses. This is not all your fault that you're hooked to WhatsApp and Instagram. They are paying crores and crores of rupees to these scientists, software engineers sitting in Silicon Valley to find these human hacks, how they can manipulate our human psyche so that we spend maximum time on these apps. How unethical. Steve Jobs never allowed his own children to use iPad and iPhone till the age of 15 because he knew that a drug dealer can't go high on his own supply. Right? कभी पान वाले को खुद को सिगरेट पीते हुए देखा है आपने? कभी नहीं देखोगे. उसको पता है ये बस दूसरों को देने की चीज है, मैं पीऊंगा तो मेरा धंधा चौपट हो जाएगा. So I think this is quite unethical, right? So always produce something which you will be proud to give it to the next generation, to your own children. Yeah. Or else I knew everything, all the licenses that are required to set up a alcohol factory. But I did not do that. Because had I done that, will I be proud to hand it over to the next generation? To my nephews, to my niece? No. But booklet? Yes, I will be proud to hand it over to the next generation. Right? So never do something that for the world वो अलग है और फिर मेरे family के लिए भी वो नहीं दूंगा because it is addictive or dangerous. Never get into such practices. Ultimately, your family will fall victim to it one day. So वो तो उनकी बात होगी. So now that they can hack and manipulate our brain so easily, we can also hack back them easily. There are always provisions in the app. There are so many hacks where we can stop our addiction. Yeah, I don't have to get into the technical things, but this is the main message that I want to give you to all of you, that there is always remaining pages in the book, right? But you don't have to bother about it because you don't read a book, you read a paragraph. You don't even read a paragraph, you read a line. I have not written my book. I never write a book, I write a sentence. And एक sentence करके वो book बनती है. Right? So whatever I've discussed, I've written in my book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. It's there available on bookletguy.com. It's not on Amazon. I've kept it on my own website, bookletguy.com. So I think I've discussed major points that I wanted to. If we have any questions, then Kapilji or Dr. Saab, if you could read them out. If we have any questions from the students, then we can make the discussion more relevant.
Yes, sir. There are a few questions. One student, Prathmesh from Pune, is asking how to be score good marks in his exam. So can you please enlighten this?
I think we have already discussed to score good marks, forget about marks. That's what I've spoken for almost 20 minutes. That marks are hypnotizing. Okay, the marks are not important. Just enjoy the process. See, I'll give you a simple example. A person wants to climb a Mount Everest. Okay, 99% of the time he spends in climbing the mountain, whereas less than 1% he spends in celebrating when he reaches the pinnacle, the peak. So what is the ratio? If the maximum amount is going to be spent in the process, and I'm going to enjoy only 1% at that moment, that means I might as well start enjoying the process, right? and get busy in the detailing part that while climbing the mountain, I should not lose the path. I should keep my compass with me. Okay, यहाँ पे पानी का झरना है, तो I have to dodge it. यहाँ पे पत्थर है, so I should be careful. No, what is the weight that I'm carrying? What is the temperature? What is the oxygen level? Get busy into that, and you will not come to know that you have reached the peak. Because that excitement will last for few moments. Like when I got the CA results in those days, I must have danced for 4 hours that I became a CA. Right? That was just one. That was the end point, like reaching the peak of the mountain. More than that, I enjoyed the process of learning all the great concepts of costing, accounts, management, accounting. Are you getting my point? Yeah. And then as a byproduct, I got the degree of CA. So I think I've given the same lesson that Three Idiots has given from the movie called Three Idiots. That, this external system of marks and ranking, they are not bad. But then we focus on them and we forget that there is an intrinsic motivation in us to learn something new. Okay. If we keep that alive, then marks will happen as a side dish, as a side effect. All right. So this should not be the question that how can I get more marks? This should be the question that how can I understand this concept of costing in a better way? And then you'll come out with better questions. Okay. Why contribution is more important than profit in costing, right? Then you'll start getting such questions.
Very well said, sir. There are flood of questions actually. One very interesting question. Tried many times, but not able to complete even a single book. Please guide. Piyush from Rewari, Haryana.
Yeah. Again, all these things are written in my book. But since you've asked, I'll quickly share the first habit from my book. And the first habit is don't take reading too seriously. See, the fact that you're not able to complete the book, that means you're taking it too seriously. That means you are assuming that not completing a book is a sin. Then do you ask this question? I've left many movies half-watched. I've left Thugs of Hindustan in the interval. I'm a bad movie watcher. I'm guilty about it. You never say this, right? And why in case of books? Okay, maybe the author has not written it in a great way. You can read the topic through a different author, which will excite you. Don't take all the blame on yourself that something is bad with you. I have left many books half-read and I don't feel guilty about it because there is nothing called good reader and bad reader. There is only reader and non-reader. Right? So even if I quit the book, I don't quit reading. For me now, it's not the book, it is the pages. Okay, even one page can go to teach me something profound, a great lesson. And maybe then the purpose is solved. I might not read the entire book. In fact, the more number of books I am reading in my life, the more books I am leaving half-read. You know why? Because now I'm reading my 1985th book. Most of the times it's repetition, old wine in new bottle. अरे ये तो example अलग है, concept तो वही है. अरे ये तो मैंने वो book में पढ़ा था. And I confidently leave the books half read. I know I'm not going to miss out anything. You get that confidence and I can't teach you. It is invisible. Okay, so my 5th book of my life and now 1800 book of my life, there is a hell lot of difference between the two. The confidence level is huge now. Yeah. Sometimes I think, no, I'm already thought ahead of the author. Author ने ये बोला है, but I'm already one step ahead of him. So let me quit the book. That doesn't mean I'm trying to insult the author, okay? Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is something invisible confidence that you get after you read book after book after book after book. Not just one book. One book will not make you Chanakya. It's a whole long process. It's a very slow, gradual growth. Right? It's like you can't have a baby in 1 month by making 9 women pregnant. Mathematics में 1 into 9 and 9 into 1 is same answer, but Real life में ऐसा नहीं है ना. You have to wait for 9 months for the child to grow completely in the womb, in the mother's womb. You can't defy the law of nature, right? So I think what you do when nobody is watching you decides everything. What you do, whether you are reading a book or watching Nura Fateh's dance video on YouTube when you are all alone in the bedroom, that will decide your success or failure. That time nobody is going to watch you, right? Those choices will define your character, right? Now, once this session is done, I'll go to my bedroom. I have a choice whether to flirt with a girl on WhatsApp or read 4 pages from Robin Sharma. That choice will decide my character. And then probably institutes like a chartered accountant will invite me or not. It will be dependent on my choice that I take after this session. उस वक्त देखने के लिए कोई नहीं रहेगा, right? अभी तो I'm showing my work. This is just my personality. My character is defined when nobody is watching me. Got it?
Very nicely said, sir. Another question from Varsit from Sirguppa. It's how to focus on studies, how reduce addiction to phone. That's, I think, many want
Yeah.
to know.
Sure. Yeah, I think ये जो यंत्र अभी हमारे बॉडी का हिस्सा हो गया है हमेशा के लिए, ना? I know this is a big trouble these days. So, see, increasing focus does not mean trying to increase the concentration, but dealing with the distractions. And unfortunately, our generation have got more number of distractions than our forefathers, because this was not there. Or the landline was there, but then you did not carry the landline in your pocket when you stepped out. Or if you are reading in room number 1, the landline was in room number 3, and it did not distract you. But yeah, so it's trying to focus on something like studies, Excel sheet, PowerPoint, while keeping the mobile on the desk or in your pocket is invitation to unhappiness. I repeat, trying to focus on your studies while keeping your mobile on the desk or in your pocket is invitation to unhappiness and failure. Distraction को सामने रख के आप focus नहीं कर पाओगे. You have to remove it from its source, like TDS. TDS कट के ही आता है ना हमारे पास. So there is no question of evasion or avoiding it. So like TDS, cut the distraction at its very source. Okay, so what I do is when I have to focus on reading, which is my major part of my job now, I'm on mission Make India Read. I keep my phone away, 2 rooms away, on silent mode. And I block myself for 25-30 minutes. I know we can't focus for long hours of like 4 hours. बहुत मुश्किल है वो, right? But 30 minutes, 25 minutes, possible. And then I take a micro break of 2-3 minutes, a quality break. Quality break where I actually, maybe I'll put some water on my face. I'll walk on the staircase or go on the terrace. And then probably I'll also check some messages on the mobile. ऐसा नहीं है कि because 30 minutes मैंने देखा नहीं कुछ important message आया है क्या. But then again keep the mobile away on silent mode and get back to my salt mind and block another 30 minutes for it. There is no other way out. Okay. So probably I must be spending more time on WhatsApp than you. I'm not talking about reducing the time spent on social media. I'm talking about the timing and not the amount of time. If you are working on something, say you are doing your law का कुछ कंपनीज एक्ट की पढ़ाई कर रहे हो एंड मोबाइल सब बाजू पे है और वो टिंग बजता है, हाँ, तो टिंग बजता, अच्छा ये किसी दोस्त ने कुछ भेजा है क्या, अच्छा कपिल शर्मा का कोई वीडियो, चल देख लेते हैं ना, 2 मिनट पे छोटा वीडियो है, और फिर उसके नीचे का मैसेज, फिर उसके नीचे का मैसेज, एंड वो 2 मिनट के चक्कर में यू डोंट कम टू नो यू हैव स्पेंट 30 मिनट्स एंड यू हैव फॉरगॉटन योर हाई वैल्यू टास्क ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट. That's the problem. So timing. This is called multitasking. You know what is multitasking? That you are on task A, and if task B takes your attention from task A, that is multitasking. But if I'm on task A, I do it, I complete it, and voluntarily shift my attention to task B during a break and check my mobile, that is not multitasking. Are you getting my point? If you multitask, your productivity falls to a fourth standard child. You make many mistakes. You take longer time to understand. Our brain is not made for multitasking. Just try to play two different music. एक अरिजीत सिंह का प्ले करो और एक पंकज उधास का प्ले करो एक साथ, दिमाग का पूरा वाट लग जाएगा, है ना? यू विल गेट सो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड ट्राई टू स्विच ऑफ वन ऑफ द म्यूजिक्स, राइट? दैट मीन्स आवर ब्रेन इज नॉट मेड फॉर मल्टीटास्किंग. यू कांट डू टू थिंग्स एट द सेम टाइम. यू पे ह्यूज पेनल्टी. जब हम मोबाइल पे वापस शिफ्ट करते हैं ना अटेंशन करने का, यू हैव टू पे ह्यूज पेनल्टी. Your brain has to calibrate again to shift your focus from B to A. And you lose out a lot of energy and you make a lot of mistakes. So best is, and for 30 minutes you can do away with the mobile. And if your friends get angry for not getting a reply on WhatsApp quickly, then I don't want such friends in my life. If the foundation of friendship is based on that WhatsApp reply, sorry, I don't want such friends. Okay, WhatsApp का मतलब ही है कि I can reply as per my convenience, right? That's the whole purpose of WhatsApp. Yeah, I think I have answered your question.
Very nicely replied, sir. It was well said. Another is Sandeep from Jaipur. How to retain what we read effortlessly, like the way we retain the content of reels? Kindly reply.
Yeah, see, retention is not a different stage. Retention is part of understanding. If you understand the real meaning and not just the words, okay, don't try to remember the words of the writer or the author, but the meaning. Like if I ask you, what is the story of Three Idiots? You will narrate it in your own words. You will not create the scenes, na? You will probably not even remember the dialogues, exact dialogues, but you can tell me the story. Three guys entering engineering college, the first comedy scene, you know, and then Amir Khan finding the flaws in the education system and the beautiful message, and Virus, the dean of the principal of the college, was very strict, right? So see, you understood the story and hence you retained it. So retention is not a separate effort to be put in. If you don't understand, internalize that piece of concept and make it your own personal piece of knowledge, you will forget. So retention कोई अलग चीज है ही नहीं है. Okay, examination is just 20% test of memory, 80% is test of your internalizing the knowledge, whether you have understood it or not. If you have understood, it's almost impossible that you'll forget. For example, ये जो contribution is equal to is fixed cost plus profit, I've read like a decade ago, na? I should have forgotten it, right? But why I remember it? Because I've understood the importance, the meaning of it. Got it? Yeah, please unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
Yeah. We move to the another question, sir.
Yeah. Can this be the last one? Because I think we have covered a good number of questions. So can we have this as the last question, please? How many are there?
There are so many. Actually, we can take till 6:30 if you permit.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Muskan from Ramnagar. She's asking how to start reading books for beginners. Whether we should go for spiritual or religious books or informational or motivational.
See, again, Muskan, you are taking reading too seriously. Will you say, I'm a beginner movie watcher? From where should I start? Should I start with Shah Rukh Khan's movies or Hrithik Roshan's movies or Amir Khan's movies? We don't ask such questions. We just get started. किसी ने बोला वो पिक्चर अच्छी है तो देख लिया. And then we take a decision in first 10 minutes, we decide whether to watch it or quit it. See, so if something is important to you, don't make it special. Make it casual. Because habits are casual. Muskan, you see any of your daily habits? Chatting on WhatsApp, gossiping, watching TV, listening to YouTube music. They are so casual and hence habitual. Something which is habitual tends to be casual. It's a complete virtuous circle. But when it comes to books, we create such rules. Where should I start from? Right? Where did you start your Bollywood movies journey? You don't even remember. Right? Yes, there are some favorite directors whose movies I watch without fail, like Raju Hirani's movie. I know वो कोई भी picture लाएगा तो मैं जाके देखूंगा. But these are not rules. These are just preferences. And if a friend recommends me a great book or a great movie, I try it out. If not, I leave it. Okay. So again, don't take it too seriously. Trust me, I'm saying this and I'm able to read so many books. So this really works. Okay. And when I say don't take reading too seriously, the keyword is too. Two double O. नहीं तो आप बोलोगे अमृत ने बोला अभी don't take reading seriously. ऐसा नहीं है. Okay. Casual, I do not mean casual means playing YouTube video in the background and trying to read. I'm not talking about that casual reading. I'm talking about these unwanted rules that we have put in our heads since childhood. That I can't read the new book until I've finished the previous book. किसने बनाया है rule? Right? कि दोस्त ने recommend किया तो मुझे पढ़ना ही चाहिए. उसने अच्छा बोला है. वो बेस्ट सेलर बुक है तो मुझे क्यों नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है? We carry this guilt unnecessarily. कितने सुपर हिट मूवीज मुझे अच्छी नहीं लगी. I did not like Chennai Express at all. It's a super hit movie. मुझे नहीं अच्छी लगी. Problem है? Do you have a problem with me? No. It's a personal choice. Right? But that doesn't mean you have to abandon that topic. Same topic, you can read some other author. Right? Like Psychology of Money, somebody may not like it. Then you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's all about money and finance. Yeah. It's an art, right? Like the same movie made by another director can be pathetic. The same movie made by a great director, you might like it. So it's all the presentation. It's an art. Writing a book is an art. Okay. So it is also the responsibility of the artist, the writer, to keep you hooked or to keep you excited. It is not all your fault. Again, the object is not to insult the author, but to remove the guilt from your head that there is no problem with you. Even if you are reading my book and you get bored on page number 9, it is my problem, not your problem. I take the responsibility.
Thank you, sir. We move to the next question. It's from Nikhil from Hyderabad. By reading fast, how to memorize what we have read?
I think I've answered this partially. That fast reading doesn't mean that you're compromising with the comprehension. Now, fast reading doesn't mean looking at the words in a great speed, but ignoring the words and seeing the picture. And because of that, your reading speed will increase. So actually, your reading speed is not increasing, your seeing speed is increasing, your thinking speed is increasing. So don't think that once I increase the reading speed, then I will understand more in less time. No. Increase your thinking speed, increase your imagination speed, and as a natural consequence, your reading speed will increase. It's the other way around. Are you getting my point? There is no question of losing out comprehension here. Okay. As you said, how to read fast and then remember it in itself is a flawed approach, because what I discussed, and if you understood and believed in what I said, that you don't have to focus on the words, but focus on the meaningful phrases and see those phrases and ignore those individual words. So actually speed पे focus ही नहीं करना है. For speed reading, you don't have to intentionally increase your reading speed. You have to change the approach, and instead of looking at the words, look at the visualization, imagination, conceptualization. फिर समझ में आएगा कि वो words के बाहर आ रहे हो आप, and you're creating your own imaginative world like a movie. Movie में क्या होता है? You are seeing what the director is showing on the screen. It is his imagination. In reading, you can create your own movie. You are the director. That's the best part. And that's why you will tend to remember more, because it is your own direction. When I saw Harry Potter movie, it was the shock of my life. My Harry Potter was इतना गोरा नहीं था, उसका गोल चश्मा नहीं था. He was not that handsome. मेरा वो जो झाड़ू था, वो झाड़ू पे जो उड़ता है, वो झाड़ू भी मेरा अलग था. वो कुछ ज्यादा ही सुंदर था मूवी का झाड़ू. मेरा झाड़ू अपना नॉर्मल झाड़ू रहता ना घर का, वैसा था. So see, but problem is we are not taught imagination. How to imagine is not taught in our schools and colleges. It's an important tool. Yeah, Albert Einstein has said that knowledge is not power, imagination is. I repeat, knowledge is not power, imagination is. Because everything that you see around you, this mic, this fort, this window, was an imagination in somebody's head. That was the first step. And later on, it manifested into the real world. Yes or no? First step is imagination, then creativity, then innovation, and then the product. All right. So give utmost importance to imagination. That's the only gift mankind has received from nature. Huh? No other animal in the animal kingdom can imagine. You know this? Except human being. So let's exploit it. Let's not underestimate the power of imagination.
Very aptly replied, sir. We move to the next question. It's Janvi from Prayagraj. I'm an intermediate student, and my question is that I always feel sleepy each time I pick up my books. What should I do? Please guide me.
Janvi, don't worry. I also go to sleep when I read some books. I have a special section in my bookshelf. तो वहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ 4-5 बुक्स है. If I suffer from sleep deprivation, गलती से ज्यादा कॉफी पी ली, या किसी का झगड़ा होता है तो रात को नींद नहीं आती है ना, वो चलता रहता है दिमाग में. So I pick up one of those books from that special bookshelf. I call them as sleeping book pills. वो मेरे sleeping book pills है, specially prescribed to me, to my myself. वहां से निकालता हूँ and within one paragraph, I am in my deepest dreams, sleeping in a cozy room with AC on. Yeah. So it's absolutely normal. Okay. Now that you have understood that the fault of our traditional reading method, that why we doze off and why we don't doze off while watching movies, I think your question is already answered then. Okay, try it out. No, ignore the words and get lost in the imaginative world of the meaning of the words. Not those individual words, but the group of words. All right. And then you see the change. You'll not doze off.
Okay, sir. Thanks. We move to the next question. Cora from Ranchi. How to read, understand, make notes, and create life lesson or financial advice?
I think notes taking is a very good habit. I have this habit now. Whatever I spoke today for 1 hour, see, I did not write everything in detail. There are some 8 pointers in front of me. 1 or 2 keywords. That's all. And that keyword will help you to remember the entire story. For example, when I shared the story of the totaling mistake wala story, which happened in my childhood days. So I have just written totaling mistake in science paper. 1 line. 1 point is there on my diaries. You see, this is the diary with me right now in front of me. And I spoke for almost 10 minutes about that story. Yeah. So don't if that story is in your mind, the imagination is clear in your mind, then you just need a trigger. You need a trigger. Because I will forget where to start from if I don't have a trigger. Right? It is very difficult to jump from one topic to another if there is no connection between the two. All right. And hence, if I have to talk 5 points and those 5 points are not connected to each other, then I need a trigger. I need something on the paper. But if it is a story, like when I started the story of that totaling mistake, I don't need any trigger because they all are connected within the story. Yeah, that I was second highest. Then the paper came to my house. Then I found the mistake that the 2 marks were actually, I had earned 2 marks, but teacher made a mistake. इसके लिए trigger नहीं चाहिए once I start the story because it is in my mind. Got it? So I think the question was About could you just help me recollect the question once again?
Yeah, how to read, understand, make notes.
So I was coming to notes making. It's an art again. Don't write all the details. Find out that one key idea, key phrase, and just write that. And then repeat. Just whatever you learn, talk about it. Notes taking is good, but notes taking is time consuming. Expression, when I say your work, your exam should be a medium of expression, there are different ways of expressing. Writing is one of the expressions, one of the way of expressing. Talking, making videos, making reels. Why are we not using these amazing tools for studies? I don't understand. We assume that these reels are only for entertainment. We can start studying and make notes on reels. Nobody is doing it, unfortunately. अगर मेरे जमाने में होता तो मैं ऐसे हजारों रील्स बनाता. हमारे टाइम वो रील्स था ही नहीं, unfortunately. See how to look at it's a tool. Social media is a tool. उसको blame करके नहीं चलेगा. You can't blame a tool. For example, there's a knife. Same knife given to a thief, and the same knife given to a surgeon. See, same vastu wahi hai, but the intention changes. Yeah, एक जान लेने के लिए यूज करता है, एक जान बचाने के लिए. Same goes with the tool of social media. Why 50 lakh people know me today? I've used social media for free. Not a single rupee spent on marketing, promoting, advertisement. मेरे पास पैसे भी नहीं थे. मैं IPL पे वो एड वगैरह लगाना कभी नहीं किया मैंने. ये सब रिक्शा के पीछे स्टिकर लगाना, प्लीज डाउनलोड बुकलेट ऐप. No nonsense. These things. I use it as a tool with a clear purpose. When you don't use social media with a clear purpose, it's a black hole. It's dangerous. It's daldal. Go to social media with a clear purpose. Today, I'm going to watch 2 videos of Steve Jobs and come out of YouTube. I go to YouTube with a clear purpose that tomorrow I'm going to make soyabean ka bhaji. I'm going to see one recipe of soya chunks and come out of YouTube. If I get tempted to click on the suggestion panel, suggested video, I'm lost. All right. So start making reels of your notes, I would say, and make them live. And then people will comment on it and you reply to it. You will revise the concepts. Let's embrace technology in this way.
Okay, sir. Move to another one. There are so many questions, but due to paucity, we will taking some questions only.
Sure. Last 2-3 questions. My throat has started paining because this is the third session for the day.
Yeah. One question from Ramesh from Kathmandu, Nepal. In this digital era, we have to attend classes or any other knowledgeable material through digital devices only, especially for CA students. So during the reading and watching process, we will surely get distracted from many reasons, like running social media, watching YouTube, shorts, reels, etc. So how can we stop us using those unnecessary distraction?
Yeah, I think the same kind of questions are getting repeated. And as I said, you have to cut the distraction at its very source. When I realized that I was a couch potato watching Kapil Sharma for 6 hours on TV, 6 hours, I used to watch Kapil Sharma. I removed the TV from my house. I don't have a TV in my house. Yeah. So, I owe a lot to TV. I think television is very educative. Whenever somebody switches on the TV, I go to the other room and read a book. That is how TV has educated me. So, remove the distraction. If you say that, no, they come to my life, no, we are using them. Right? If you disable all the notifications of all your social media apps, including email, SMS, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, और क्या होता है? LinkedIn, सबके notification disable करो. Trust me. उससे क्या होगा मैं बोलता हूँ. Now suppose, Kapil ji and me are interacting for this talent hunt. and we were in touch for today's seminar. Kapil ji must have observed he will never get a immediate reply on WhatsApp from me. Never. Because he has messaged me as per his convenience. I have disabled my notification because I'm somewhere working on a high value task. I will reply to his message when I want and not when he wants. This is the difference. और हम क्या करते हैं, दूसरे ने मैसेज किया तो तुरंत we find it obligatory to reply immediately. No, then he is taking away the control of your life. You are giving your control to the other person. The other person will wait. That's the beauty of WhatsApp. कि आप जब चाहो मैसेज करो, मैं जब चाहो रिप्लाई करूंगा, राइट? एंड द पर्पस इज सॉल्व्ड, द कम्युनिकेशन इज सॉल्व्ड. और हमको घाई रहती है रिप्लाई करने की. नो, रेजिस्ट द टेम्पटेशन, फोकस ऑन योर हाई वैल्यू. वो रेजिस्ट करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. इफ यू कीप द मोबाइल अवे, आई नो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रेजिस्ट द टेम्पटेशन. सामने बटर चिकन रखा है और खा नहीं सकते, ऐसे कैसे होगा? बटर चिकन को हटाओ नजरों से, उसको सामने मत रखो. That's the only way, because we are weak humans. We are not Mahatma. राइट? तो महात्मा बनो और फिर ये सब सवाल ही नहीं उठेंगे मन में, डिस्ट्रैक्शन वगैरह. इफ गांधी जी was today he was alive, he would have handled Twitter very carefully, right? He was a very disciplined guy. We are not, at least I am not. So once I accept my weakness, then I will start looking for alternative solutions. That yes, I get distracted. Then what to do? What is the best way to do? Disable notifications or remove the unwanted apps. See, I've observed that not everybody is addicted to all the apps. There's some 1 or 2 apps. Like I was addicted to YouTube. I'm not addicted to Instagram or WhatsApp, but I was addicted to YouTube. So I removed YouTube from my mobile. And then what I do, I visit YouTube through my laptop. Now, laptop can't go in my pocket once I step out of the house. Right? And there is a limitation, right? I have to open it, I have to open the Chrome and then go to youtube.com, watch the video and then close it. Whereas when YouTube is in my pocket, it's always with me. Those million videos are traveling with me within the house, outside the house. So whatever I do, I am on Instagram. Every day, one video goes on Instagram. I have some 2,000 videos on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. But I don't have Instagram on my mobile. Yeah, I go to instagram.com on my laptop. And through that, I check my comments, put my videos. YouTube ka bhi aisa bhi, LinkedIn ka bhi aisa hi. Don't put those apps in the mobile. But still enjoy the benefits of all these apps.
Very nicely replied, sir. I think we take last question.
Yeah.
It's a Rishabh Delhi. The technical subjects like law are written in very rough language. How to make interest in these kind of subjects?
Rough language. What do you mean by rough language? Okay, I understand your question. That the legal language is very complicated and you're not expected to write the same language in the paper. Notwithstanding वगैरह ऐसा words use होता है ना legal language में, तो वैसा नहीं करना है. As I said, आपका खुद का vocabulary enough है. Those 100-200 words that you learned till 10th standard are more than enough to express everything in your life. You don't have to by heart a dictionary. Okay. Once you understand कि company law का कोई provision लो, and you understand that meaning कि इसके पीछे why क्या है, ये ऐसा law क्यों लाया गया है, right? And then you'll be able to express it. And then discuss. Studying should not be in isolation. I hate when people, kids are just sitting in the chair and putting their nose in the book and reading for hours. That is one part. That should be only one part of studying. 80% of the part should be sitting in groups and discussing. See, I learned this, I want to explain this. And if I explain this and you understand it, that means I have understood it properly. And the best part is when I'm explaining it, you are also learning, na? And anything when you do in group is always motivating, it is always exciting. right? Because you have a common objective. You want to pass. You want to become a chartered accountant. So common objective bring people together. See, विराट कोहली और रोहित शर्मा, इनमें कुछ ऐसा बचपन से कोई भाईचारा नहीं था. वो तो बाद में मिले ना. They are not twin brothers. Then why there is so much of bonding between Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma? Because there is a common objective. India को जिताना है. And that brings brotherhood between them. आर्मी लोग में इतना ब्रदरहुड क्यों होता है? कॉमन ऑब्जेक्टिव, दुश्मन को हराना है, देश को बचाना है. व्हाट इज आवर कॉमन ऑब्जेक्टिव? पास होना है, सीए होना है. सो लेट्स कम टुगेदर एंड ग्रो टुगेदर. आइसोलेशन में पढ़ाई मत करो, इट्स वेरी बोरिंग. वी आर नॉट मेड फॉर आइसोलेटेड थिंग्स. मैं तो मेडिटेशन भी अकेले नहीं करता हूँ. मैं दोस्तों को बुला के ग्रुप में मेडिटेशन करता हूँ. Because I know I'm not a self-motivated person. I've accepted this weakness, and so I make myself dependent on others. We are all interdependent species. The independence, individual liberty, वो सब ना वेस्ट लोगों ने सब लाया है. Let them do it. Our Indian culture is about interdependence. I am dependent on you, you are dependent on me, and let's both grow together. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Okay, sir. So we are already running late.
I think we have covered a lot
Formal
of things
vote of
today.
thanks.
Yes.
I would like to invite Alok sir, please, for formal vote of thanks, please.
Alok, you're on mute.
You are on mute, sir.
Alok, just unmute yourself. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're still
I'm
not
audible
audible. Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to offer the official. Kapilji, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
You
sir.
are.
It's okay.
So, dear esteemed speakers and our beloved students, we gather here today for this second session on fast reading skills. Really humbled and deeply grateful for the profound impact each one of you has had on this second episode. Your presentation so far, but also left an indelible marks on our mind and hearts. We extend our heartful gratitude on behalf of Student Skills Enrichment Board for the invaluable time and effort you have dedicated for being part of this program. And our sincere thanks to guidance provided by the distinguished leaders of ICI, our Honorable President, C. Aniket Talati sir, and our Vice President, C. Ranjit Kumar Agrawal, for their unwavering commitment to the welfare of the CA students and for championing the creation of these enlightening modules. Apart from this, we are having our practical training modules, which we are conducting on the various aspects of the articleship training. Our utmost appreciation to the visionary chairman of SSEB, CA Mangesh Kinere sir, who has also addressed us this evening, and also our vice chairman, CA Mupala Sridhar, whose guidance and direction have been instrumental in organizing this remarkable session. Sir, your leadership and dedication to the professional development serve as a beacon of inspiration, and we are deeply honored by your presence today. And the most important is our utmost appreciation to our esteemed speaker, CA Amrut Deshmukh, whose wisdom and expertise have graced us with all these engaging sessions and experiences and lifetime insights, which have elevated our understanding of this particular skill set, which can help all of us uh, to engrave in our day-to-day working. Thank you for being with us today. I also extend my gratitude to my colleagues from ICI, whose relentless commitment has played a pivotal role in organizing and realization of this program. Now, the last but not the least, our deepest appreciation goes to all our aspiring chartered accountants. Your participation, in fact, I should say your active participation and unwavering enthusiasm have given life into this session, making it an unforgettable experience. I would like to request all our dear students to actively write your queries. We would like to address as much as we can during this limited time. But certainly, we will also come back to you, maybe by way of email in case we are unable to address your queries during this limited time. The recordings of this session are will be made available on ICI YouTube channel and also on the Digital Learning Hub, wherein you can refer it anytime and just uh, get benefit after going through this session again and again. So thank you so much. May your future be filled with boundless success and fulfillment. Thank you so much from Student Skills Enrichment Board.
Thank you, sir.
Now, may I request the technical team to please stop the recording.